Hi, good evening, gentlemen. You both know the rules of the World Boxing Council. I will not tolerate any kidney punching or any back in the cervix area. Is that understood? Shake hands now. Good luck to both of you.
And there they get their final instructions. Arthur Mercanti Sr. laying it out to them, and one special rule about the kidney punching. And we are set to go our main event. The WBC light heavyweight title. Roy Jones on your right in the black trunks. Montell Griffin in the red. Dave Bontempo and Tony Page, glad you're with us from the Foxwoods. And Jones with a big left hook to start.
He backed up Montell. I think Montell got rocked a little bit.
He did.
And already his legs are wide.
Griffin
and
back.
Down
Griffin
goes.
down. How will they rule it?
That was a knockdown.
It's a knockdown.
He caught him. He was hurt early, Dave. Then that punch, even though he was off balance, he went down. The ropes kept him up. That's still a knockdown.
And the correct call by Arthur Mercanti. Jones coming out. A left hook by Griffin.
Jones knows how to finish a guy when he's hurt. Montell needs to start throwing some punches.
Jones is lunging, taking his chances. He doesn't usually like to do that. But Griffin is a counter-punching and very cagey. See if Jones jabs his way through. He's got the 5-inch reach advantage. Griffin tries to counter. Left hook by Jones. Jones means business tonight.
He's not playing. Montell's a little slow in there. He's got to bring those hands up because Roy's just using the left hook. Doesn't use much of a left jab.
Jones with the hook again. Another hook backs Griffin up. Roy Jones has a score to settle the way he's come out thus far. Missing wildly with a left hook over the top.
Now, if Montell Griffin was 6'2", he'd have been knocked out right then.
Griffin did not counter that. Left hook by Jones. Let's see how this settles in. Jones with the left hand down low, daring Griffin to take a chance with him.
Jones is just trying to bring that left hook up from the floor to get some speed on it.
Griffin waiting back. Jones fakes the hook. Griffin bit on it. Jones fired the hook again. Now the jab by Griffin, and the chess match unfolds.
Tough when you got two counter punches in there, but Roy's taking the lead a little bit.
Jones wants to mix it with him here. Right hand by Jones.
Doing a lot of damage with that left hook, Dave.
Trying to turn into his shots. Griffin observing, waiting. Jones with the hook in the right hand. Jones picking up where he left.
Nice, right on the button. That was a right on the button left hook. Came up from the floor.
Griffin might be out.
He's not going to make it, Dave. That's it.
Wow, the bottom.
Oh, man. He's still down. It's like when Tyson knocked down Trevor Berman.
What a statement by Roy Jones Jr. He picked up where he left off in the first fight he had. Griffin on the way out in that, the disqualification, and that left hook he brought up from the floor, and Montell Griffin was hit by a Titanic bomb, and this time he could not counterpunch his way out of it.
Well, I don't know if Roy Jones Jr. Can be called best in the world, but I think he's knocking on Oscar De La Hoya's platform.
Well, this was an excellent way for Roy Jones to come back and say a lot to people, and you know what? That does not look like someone who does not want to be in boxing.
It's interesting. When Roy Jones has all cylinders working, I don't think anybody in the world can beat him. He showed something there.
He is enjoying this. In a sense, this is a victory lap. This.
Well, for once it was true. They said he'd get rid of him early because he was talking, so it took him a fight, but he finally did it.
And he found out a way to frustrate that counter-punching technique by Montell Griffin. He fired long hooks.
Montell fought that fight as a challenger. He should have came up swarming. Jones went after the title. He did what he had to do. Montell figured, okay, I can get to the later rounds and do what I did last time, but Roy never let him get to that point.
Griffin never recovered from that first bomb, really.
And it wasn't even the shot that made him fall into the ropes. It was an early short punch that hurt him, had him staggered a little bit.
And Roy Jones now conducting a little communication with his people.
I wonder if he'll be a little more arrogant now.
Well, he may be at least a little more outspoken. Now, here's how you do it. First knockdown very early, seconds into the fight. A left hook driving Griffin back.
Caught him around the side of the head.
Now watch from the side angle. Bomb by Jones. Left hook there.
Right on the
catches
chin.
Griffin, and down he is by the ropes, and correctly called.
Looked like James Toney going back a little bit in his fight against Jones.
Griffin trying to throw the hook and gets caught. Into the ropes he is. It holds him up, but the call is there. And then he is basically, as you see it there, he stepped in. Jones caught him as Griffin wanted to open up.
Roy took a shot, but can bring that left. I've seen him throw it 6-7 times in the gym. That was just short to the point. There was no 2, 3, 4, just one.
Griffin was walking in there. And the bomb by Jones.
Wow, you saw his head turned when he got hit. That was power.
He brought that up from the floor.
That's what I was saying. He was trying to get that speed, that torque.
There it is.
He just cocked it and brought it up.
Tony, that seemed like it crossed state lines.
It did. It should pay toll on that one.
And Griffin looks like he'll get up here. Starts and no way.
I saw his eyes rolling around his head. I said he just can't find the canvas. It's like 2 knockdowns off the same punch. Here comes 3.
Legs are floating.
There goes 4.
And Roy Jones may be wondering how come it wasn't easy like this the first time.
1 punch, just like Tyson against Trevor Berbick. When Berbick tried to get up, kept falling back down. Just his eyes just started to roll in his head.
And you get the feeling if they ever fought a third time, you could see something totally different, not like the first fight and not like the second fight.
I think as long as Roy Jones is focused, it doesn't matter who he's in with. I can see in a sense what he's saying, I only want the big fights, but what big names out there? I mean, you just might as well go after other champions.
Montell Griffin is trying to will his legs into life, and it won't happen. And here you go, the bomb by Jones. And look at Griffin when Jones wound up for that. He did not move.
No, he was slow in there. I just think he figured he'd survive the early rounds and step it up. And Roy just wouldn't let him get to that point. You got to give Roy credit for that. You don't let a guy get in to beat you.
I mean, this last left hook was practically announced by Jones and still got in. Well, you know, they say that the best punches in boxing travel maybe 6 inches. Well, that one looked like it traveled about 6 feet.
Well, they also say it's the punches you don't see. I think Montell saw it coming, but he just couldn't get out of the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Arthur Mercante calls a halt to the bout at 2 minutes and 31 seconds of round number 1 following knockdown number 2. The winner, now a 4-time world champion, and once again the WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.